if you just tuning in, I'm getting ready to just do a recap of the Boom service yesterday. It was an awesome service. A lot of I like going to the services because it's good word and there's a lot of good fellowshipping. I might have Majors come in today. I might bring him on I sent him a link, so if he desires, I'm gonna bring him in so he could elaborate a little on the service. But in the meantime, while I'm getting everything set up here, just enjoy the music. I'm gonna get the music going, and I'm gonna share this and invite people in. I'm also trying to get Majors to come on. So with that said, just enjoy the music, and we'll get started here soon with a recap of the Boom church service yesterday here in Jacksonville, Florida. So enjoy the music, and we'll get started here momentarily.
Rebirth. Sometimes we focus on them curses, but the promises put fire in your soul. Fire.
Yeah. Fire in my soul.
So much fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire in my soul.
Shut up in my bones.
Fire. Fire in my soul. The promises to Zion, they put fire in my soul. What's this? Got y'all all turned up. Tell me what's going on. So many Israelites searching who they are and preparing to go home. Wait a minute, I thought this was home, but you speak of another place. We in the land of our enemies in captivity, but the gathering is safety place. Fire.
Yeah.
Fire in my soul.
So much fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire in my soul.
Shut up in my bones.
Fire. Fire in my soul. The promises to Zion, they put fire in my soul. Ever since I woke up and finding what belongs to me, I want my crown and my robe like the saints of old, my legacy and history. Wait a minute, I thought you were the children of slaves, but you're telling me you're kings and queens. We the chosen of Yah, the apple of his eye, the original royalty. Fire.
Yeah.
Fire in my soul.
So much fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire in my soul.
Shut up in my bones.
Fire.
Shalom, y'all. If y'all just tuning in, I'm getting ready to do a recap on the Boom church service. Went to yesterday. It was a good lesson, good fellowship, everything like that. It was awesome. Yeah, you got that song be in your head. That's a good song to have repeating in your head, man. Hey, Shalom, Bob Parks. Hey, let Mage know if he wants to come in. I sent him a link so he could come on. I think he wanted to come on. So if somebody could contact Mage, tell him I sent him a link. So if he wants to come on, he can come on the show. Mage, you said you getting up, man. It's almost 10 o'clock, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Put your makeup on and you got to come on the air, man. All right. So yeah, so Mage said he's gonna come on, so we're gonna have him on too. I got some footage from the beginning of the lesson and some pictures. So we'll start going through that here in a minute, and then we'll bring Mage on whenever he's ready to come on. But just stand by. I'm gonna continue sharing this and getting everybody in here. Okay. He said, "Go ahead, I got it." He just getting up. All right. If you have time though, just come on. 'Cause I got a little bit of I got some stuff to go through, some pictures and stuff. So yeah, we got time. We'll get you on.
Wait a minute, I thought this was home, but you speak of another place. We in the land of our enemies in captivity, but the gathering is taking place. Fire, 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 fire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fire in my soul. So much fire. Fire, fire, fire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fire in my soul. Shut up in my bones. Fire, fire, fire. Fire in my soul. The promises to Zion, they put fire in my soul. Ever since I woke up and finding what belongs to me, I want my crown and my robe like the saints of old, my legacy and history. Wait a minute, I thought you were the children of slaves, but you're telling me you're kings and queens. We the chosen of Yah, the apple of his eye.
Okay, I see y'all in there asking what's the name of this song. Here, I'm gonna pull it up for you. I'll put it on the screen. It's Fire in My Soul, Morris Williams. Here it is right here. You could type it in to Facebook, or I'm sorry, to YouTube, just like that. Hold on, let me turn this down. Yeah, this is the name of the song, Fire in My Soul. There it is right there, Fire in My Soul. And it's Morris Williams. So you could just go on YouTube and go right to his page and play it. I love the song. My kids love the song. And I know Morris wants me to move on and play some other songs that they've come out with, but I'm still hooked on this one. So yeah, definitely check that out. All right, but I'm gonna continue sharing this. And we'll get started here in a minute. All right. All right.
Royalty, fire, 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 fire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fire in my soul. So much fire. Fire, fire, fire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fire in my soul. Shut up in my phone. Fire, fire, fire.
Okay, so
the promises to Zion, they put fire in my soul.
All right, shalom, y'all. Shalom, shalom, shalom. It's your boy Michael Israel here, and this is a Boom Church recap, okay, of the service. I went to yesterday. That's the ministry you can say I'm associated with, that I fall under locally here in Jacksonville, that and Hebrew Nation Builders. I do whatever I can to support them and what they're doing. Hold on, let me turn this down. There we go. So yeah, I do whatever I can to support them and what they're doing. And whenever they have a service here, if I'm in town, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? It's awesome. It's always good fellowshipping. And before we even get into the lesson of what was taught, something that was that's good is a lot of, and what I'll do, I'll put up some of the pictures of that I took yesterday. Some of the brothers there. But yeah, it was just an awesome conference, or awesome service, because of the fellowship, and especially afterwards, and the lesson, and just getting out there, getting to know your brothers and sisters who are out there in your area and stuff like that. Brother Sean was there. After the lesson, Majors, he does, like, if you have questions or you got input, he lets everybody have some input and stuff like that, just to make sure there's clarity. And Brother Sean was there, and an amazing thing was, Brother Sean, his mother just came into this truth. So that was amazing, and she was there, and she brought out some heavy truth. She was saying how when they were over in Egypt, I don't know if she lived over there for a short period of time, but anyway, she was saying how when she was over in Egypt, the Egyptians there, when they saw Sean, her son, they would call him, I forget what the term they said was, but referring to him as the people of the book over there. So she was saying that played into her coming into this truth. So yeah, man. I mean, a lot of it was just very fruitful at the event. Another awesome thing that came out of it is this brother here. This is Brother Derek. He lived right here in Jacksonville. He had been following these ministries, but he didn't realize they were right here in his town. You know what I'm saying? I guess he was following my teachings for a while, and then he got started hearing about Boom Church, Hebrew Nation Builders, and then he realized that, hey, this is happening right here in my town. I know I've been talking to some other people who've been tuning in, and they live in the region, because this isn't just for people in Jacksonville. There's people who travel from South Carolina and come to these events. There's people, Majors was telling me, traveling from, I think, Tallahassee to these events. So people come from the region and come to the events, and you're absolutely welcome to come. It's so important to fellowship with your brothers and sisters. Hey, shalom, Brother Sean. Hey, what was that term you said that your mother said that the Egyptians were calling you over there? Type that in the comments if you could, okay? Because I was trying to remember, I was trying to tell that story, I think, before you had tuned in. But yeah, let me know that term that you said they referred to you as. Oh, Isaac. It was Isaac. Okay. So yeah, they refer to him as Isaac, or like a descendant of Isaac or something. And that's over in the Middle East, you know what I'm saying? And I've heard that before. There was a brother in Saudi Arabia, and he said he had went down. They said, "Welcome home, Isaac." That's what they were saying to him. And there was a brother over in. Okay, I got you. I'm gonna bring that up. There's another brother I knew in the military, and he lived over in Saudi Arabia for a while. He said when he go down one day, he went downtown to the market down there, and he was in a jewelry store, and the lady basically said, "You don't know, do you?" And she was like, "I don't know what. You don't know who you are. You're African American. You're from America, right?" She was like, "Yeah." She was, all right, hold on. That's Majors coming in. There he is. I'm gonna let him get set up. Can you hear me, Mage?
Yeah, I can hear you real good.
Okay, I'll bring you in one sec. So there was a lady over there in the jewelry store, and she said, "You don't really know who you are, do you?" And he was like, "No." And he was like, "You the people of the book." And he said the lady was real respectful to him and treated him real nice. And it really, he wrote it off until a year ago when I brought this truth to him. Then it like really clicked on him. So just a lot of things came out. But with that said, Mage is in the room. He's all dressed up, ready to go. He don't even look like he was sleeping. So we gonna bring him on there. Shalom, brother.
Shalom, what's going on?
Hey man, talk about that service yesterday and what you thought of it, if you could. Teaching is that's the easy part. It's part of ministry for me. I would say the great joy that I get isn't the teaching part. The great joy I get out of is just seeing how the Spirit flowed through the community, and how the Spirit is just amongst us all to where we can function as a community and be used as a community. There's even, there's always going to be the face that people are going to always associate a particular movement or ministry or organization with. But it's always the people that's a part of the structure is what helps, is who help things build and grow.
The credit always goes to the person, but my thing is that I'm going to always be that type of person. That's just my personality to push others. You know what I'm saying? And because if I don't push you and whatnot, then I'm not doing my responsibility, as a leader. So that's why yesterday, opening up the floor yesterday is just amazing, because I can see where a lot of people are going before they go. And so I want to try to be able to help push you and prepare you and develop you and equip you. Everybody's not going to stay, everybody's not going to stay and be amongst the settlers. Some are going to come and be able to get developed and then be able to have to go, in their region to be able to do what they call to do. So my job is, as a leader, to be able to help push. Some brothers and sisters have fears. And so we use Boom as a training area for those who are going to be pushed, because everybody's not going to lead. Everybody's not going to be teachers over their own congregation. But my job as a leader, assignment given to me, regardless if you're going to be a leader or not over a congregation, I still have to prepare you to be able to deal with people in the world who are going to ask you questions. People are going to, so those fears you have to get over. But yesterday, I just loved the fact after the lesson, just when a sister or a brother have a question, because you can feel it during the time of the service. You feel the pulling of, okay, I got a question, or and the question don't even have to be associated with the lesson, but spiritually, I can feel that it's that time to kind of open it up to get those questions. So yesterday for me, the blessed part was after Brother Sean. Man, I'm gonna tell you, man, I just, and this is the thing, you don't have to talk all the time to a person to feel the connection. I have friends that I've known for years, I don't talk to all the time, but the connection is still there. Yeah. Like Brother Sean is a very quiet brother, and that's his personality and his identity and his DNA. He's very quiet, relaxed, cool type guy.
Too cool, Sean.
Yeah, too cool, Sean. He just cool brother, just laid back. But Sean have a lot in there. He have a lot of depth in him, and so I try every chance I get, and I know sometimes I can feel him. I hope Majors don't call on me. I hope Majors don't have, I can feel it. But so that makes me pursue him even more, because I know that depth is there. It's just, it just has to come out because of where he going. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, he was definitely dropping some jewels, and he put a little statement there. He said, just talking about what I was bringing out earlier, he said she lived there for 2 years with my older brother, and they all referred to him as Isaac or Ben Isaac, which is the son of Isaac. So, and like I said, that's the way Sean is, man. He just contributing to the conversation and really dropping some jewels in there. Yeah,
absolutely. And it was a community effort, because even yourself, Sister Sharika, see, my thing is, man, I'm just loving to see just the balance in the community, because our sisters have a lot of wisdom too, but we have to be able to be confident enough to let them be able to go ahead and bring forth that wisdom as well. Mm-hmm. So I love to see how now even the sisters starting to open up and give insight to things, because as a community, we have to be able to function where everybody's be able to be used by the Spirit and give insight, even though we know that, there's structures that are set up. Yeah. But at the same time, we can't hinder them from speaking the wisdom that the Father's putting in them as well.
Yeah. And like the one sister, the Most High, you could see she was using her because she was getting her master's in apologetics.
Christian apologetics.
And it's like that's bringing good information to us to learn how these people are trained. And at first she was apprehensive about pushing forward with it. Then she realized it was, the Spirit wanted her to just continue on that path just to, I guess, be educated in that area.
And you know, this is the thing, and I know a lot of people bang on schools and stuff like that, but to be honest with you, seminary school can be helpful if you know how to chew the meat up and spit out the bones, because it can help you learn. And I think the areas where a lot of Hebrews fail at is that I think it's important to learn church history, Christian church history, to know, because when you come in these environments, in these arenas, and have scholarly conversations or any type of conversation with anybody, you need to know history on all levels across the board, whether it's European history or not. You need to learn those histories to be able to be very impactful, especially when dealing with the text. And so I think that it's a great thing. Also, even with teaching. Now, there are some things that seminary school does teach and prepare you as far as structure and learning how to structure a lesson. And so they have a lot of great things. They're just not going to present the things that you expect them to present, because they're a system and a structure that's set up a certain kind of way. But you can take those great things about it. And I think that what she's doing is great, to be able to push through that, to learn. Right. Because if she's embracing her heritage as a Hebrew, she's going to get combated against. So therefore, she needs to learn, you know, what Christian apologists think and how they process and the things that they think and all these other areas. And therefore, you know, being able to combat that, or not even so much combat it, but also give an answer to maybe help somebody else who's trying to gain an understanding. Right. So it's a double edge.
Right. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play basically the first 3 minutes or whatever of your introduction to the message, and then I'm gonna just after I play that, I'm gonna just have you speak on what you taught and everything like that. So I'm gonna play that real quick.
Okay.
And mind you, the mic, the PA system wasn't on in there, so the sound quality might not be the best, but I think you'll be able to hear the basics of what he was bringing out, or in the introduction.
Have been used by both sides to push their own agendas sometimes. But on the Christian side, many of them push. Paul taught against the Torah, taught against the law. Therefore, there's no need for us to keep the law or the Torah. Paul letters is used as validation. On the other side, we have brothers and sisters now in the day and age in which we live that say Paul was a madman. He was a hypocrite. He couldn't make up in his mind what he wanted to believe and what he wanted to do. I don't think that Apostle Paul is messing with your head. I don't believe that the Father is messing with your head. But I believe that man is messing with your head. Men have agendas. Men seem to take and use and apply what they want to use to push forward their agenda. We're going to dissect. That's why I say this is more of a lecture type. I'll give you a lot of scriptures, because it takes that. He's probably the only one in the whole New Testament that we have to actually dissect every single word that he says. It's about the only one. There's no confusion when it comes to the HaMashiach and what he says in the four Gospels. There's no confusion when it comes down to Peter when he writes his letters, James, John, anybody, Revelation, anybody. But when we deal with Colossians, deal with Ephesians, Galatians, Romans, 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, all of these different letters, which they should be read as such, should be read as letters. But I firmly believe that the Torah is infused in there because there are times when he has to give his opinion about certain things depending on the concerning the matter in which a letter is being written to him. So sometimes he has to give his opinion of things, but there are times when he has to deal with things from a spiritual matter. But even his opinion does not contradict what Torah says. It's just the way that he's writing confuses those who refuse to read and study for themselves.
All right. So yeah, definitely talk if you could about that lesson you gave yesterday.
Yesterday we was dealing with a letter to the Galatians, the believers at Galatia, and dealing with our beloved brother Paul. And so Yesterday, I kind of gave without saying a little intro or view into kind of how I prepare a little bit, especially with dealing with Paul's letters. So when I'm dealing with Paul's letters, I generally go into searching out some of the Jewish side of study, even though we know New Testament wise, and we know that some of these Jewish translations are slightly based off European Jew understanding of some things, but it does give you a closer perspective to understanding the Messianic community at that time, how the structure is set up. It gives it from a non-European perspective. So generally, I deal with the KJV, even though we know that the KJV does pretty much every translation has some form of a biasness or error to it or whatnot, but it still doesn't mean that it's not, it can't be used to bring forth truth.
Exactly.
And so yesterday, I went more into the complete Jewish Bible translation just to bring out the understanding different from a European Western church mindset to a Hebraic community mindset to kind of give an understanding of that day. And so we dealt with the history of Paul and who he was before his conversion and before he met the Hamashiach on the road to Damascus. And so I wanted to bring that out to show, starting out in Galatians chapter number 1, that he starts dealing with his past and his history, and he starts bringing an understanding that don't allow the people in the area, the non-Messianics at that time, to persuade you to go back to that lifestyle, not against the Torah, but the lifestyle of depending on the priest as well as depending on sacrifice, instead of the good news of living righteous according to Torah, and also now accepting Hamashiach. Continue that path that you've accepted, because majority of the people at the time, they could not go to a synagogue because they were ran by non-Messianics pretty much. So they had to have these congregations or communities. The Messianic community was more so house to house church. So we wanted to bring that out and just look at that from on that perspective to set the tone of Galatians. And that way, when you continue to read in your studies, you'll understand the view that it's not, you can't bring the Western world mindset into a Hebraic text, because this is a Hebrew who's writing a letter to believers or Messianic believers at that time.
Yeah. And that was definitely a unique way of coming at it, and it made it very, very clear for people who might be coming out of that, I guess, the Christianity doctrine, the typical doctrine that's taught to Christians on that. It made it very digestible for them. If you could talk about it, what are your upcoming events that are coming up?
Right now, I am diligently. Actually, I was laying in the bed and I was thinking about. My mind was in the world that it goes into when I'm structuring things and I'm processing stuff that happened yesterday. Just listening to the voices. Last night we did the live last night.
Man. Hey, and let me tell you, want to know what's crazy? On Thursday, I think it was let me go back the whole time. I think it was last Sunday, I talked to Josh, and Josh kind of gave me a heads up. He was like, yeah, Mike, you didn't hear about these people. They're Hebrews, but they're teaching the laws done away with. It's like he was like, it's a growing thing. Then on Wednesday or Thursday, some dude messaged me, hey, man, I need to be on your show because y'all teaching in there. We not under the law. I'm a Hebrew, this, that, and other. I was like, really? I was like, you could come on the show. I reached out to Dimitri Milligan, and I scheduled it, set it up. It's going to come on today. We're going to go live today. It's a brother who believes in that doctrine, and I reached out to Dimitri Milligan, so they're going to both be on the show, and they're going to have a discussion. Ain't going to be no yelling debate, but it's just, it's like and that's happened before. Like, you've told me about something. Hey, Mike, there's these people, they doing this. And then the next thing you know, I see it. They start reaching out and coming. You know, I always get a heads up. But, yeah, that was an awesome show last night. Matter of fact, I was watching it while I was getting set up for this show. So, yeah, talk about that a little bit. And if y'all are listening, man, make sure y'all go to Major's page and watch that show he did last night. Go ahead and talk about it, though.
Yeah, there's a rise of, and it's becoming very popular, and I think it's going to be, because, and we talked about it yesterday in so many ways when the sister was asking about, Christians, how do you reach them? So you have Hebrews who are identifying as Hebrews based on their nationality, but when it comes to living like one, they reject that notion because it's to the point of that many of them don't want to change their menu. They've been doing something so long that they don't want to change their menu. So the thing is that when we begin to look historically, the issue is this is the reason why we're in the position in the first place. Is simply because we willfully, and this is what I was talking to the brother last night, and the brother Chris was saying, well, nobody can keep the law. Nobody keep the law perfect. So I went to Luke chapter number 1, and I showed him John the Baptist, father and mother, Elizabeth, who kept the law perfect, blameless, all 613s and the ordinances, all of that. And so I was telling them the problem and the issue is that we have an issue of willful sin, which means that our flesh is in domination of our spirit man. Yeah. And so this is the reason why you can embrace that you're a Hebrew and not keep Torah and find yourself in a position where you're going to suffer the consequences of the law of sin and death.
Right.
You can also identify as a Christian, but live as a Hebrew, and yet your living as a Hebrew will get you into the kingdom. You won't suffer the curses or the consequences of the law of sin and death. So the thing is that many of them can't overcome the notion of their flesh. I can identify as Hebrew. I love that. That's what they want to embrace. But now you find yourself putting yourself in the same position that your forefathers put themselves in, with fringes on, going into slavery. So the thing is that I think that it's a growing thing. Listen, in these days and times in which we live, Hasatan is going to throw the kitchen sink at everybody.
Yeah. Every angle.
Every level. Even me and you, who we strive in the best of our ability to live by Torah, the enemy is going to continue to find some kind of way. And this is the thing. The Father gives him the permission to test us.
Purifying the gold.
Absolutely.
Burning them impurities off.
Absolutely. So the thing is that this is just another ploy. It's another way that's going to get people caught up. And the devices are serious. That's why we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. It's a spiritual battle out here, spiritual combat, out here. And all of us is trying to get our mind right, even right now, even being awoke, waking up to our heritage and still striving to keep the Torah. We all still trying to get our mind right.
And just so y'all know, because that was part 2 he did, because part 1, what he did is he let Christians come on and voice their opinions, beliefs, and how they perceive the Hebrew Israelite movement. And that's spiritual toughness there. Because, like, some of the stuff I couldn't have bit my tongue. I mean, I could see Maid sitting there and a bead of sweat running down his forehead. And he like, but nah. So y'all should watch that first. And then I'm going to finish, when I get done with this, I'm going to finish watching part 2 where he let the Hebrews come on and voice theirs. Did the Christian guy ever get to come on in the end? Because I didn't make it to the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't spoil it, because I want to watch it. It was good, man. That's my entertainment, man. That's what I be watching, is a lot of these videos. But I was gonna say, so talk about your future direction as far as with Paul and teaching on that, and if you could.
Yeah, we're gonna continue to dig into, and I know the way things are going. We're not gonna go into every single chapter of every single Paul letter, but just some of the main areas, of understanding that need to be understood. Primarily, any babe or anybody that has a confusion when it comes to Paul, I give them the advice, stay away from his letters, especially if you're having a hard time dealing with it, because a lot of brothers and sisters, even in the Hebrew community, they have a difficult time with him in the way he's writing these letters and the way he's structuring them. And many times, a lot of Hebrew brothers don't understand the full history. And this is where I really thank Brother Sean yesterday, because he started talking about the past and the Jewish temple and the destruction and all these things. And he would say, listen, if you read that and you get a thorough understanding of the past, you'll be able to understand the reason and the direction in way Paul was writing his letters. And so,
and real fast, because I need to remember that, but what was that term he used though? I'm trying to remember.
The second Jewish temple destruction, I think that's what that was the
he had
the reference that he used. I think Brother Sean should be on here now.
Yeah, Sean, hey, put that in the comments, man, because I was trying to remember that term you used so I could, I wanted to study that out myself.
Yeah, because I have the PDF for it, but he gave the reference to it yesterday. And so that's very important to understand how the Pharisees went too far. They started after the Babylonian captivity because of the fall of the Northern Kingdom, and because of the fault that Northern Kingdom continues to be wicked and sin and got divorced from Yah. You had the Southern Kingdom start following that same path. So what ended up happening is not the Jewish, but the Pharisees started adding their own man-made structures of laws around the Father's laws, but then they started piling them up and almost making it above the Father's laws, henceforth how we get the Babylonian Talmud, all right? And so when you start having those structures, that was the issue that Christ had an issue with, because he would tell the people, follow the Pharisees, they sit on the seats of Moses, do what they say when it comes down to teaching Moses and the laws given to him, but don't be hypocrites, don't follow their man-made traditions. And that's what Paul had an issue with the Galatians and all these other areas outside of Colossians. Colossians were dealing with Gnosticism in that area. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
And Sean just put it in the comments. He said what you need to study is Second Temple Judaism history. So that's I'm gonna be working on that for that's gonna be my little study thing I'm gonna be doing doctrinally on the side. Yeah. So when's the next Boom event in Jacksonville? And also, because something I'm gonna start doing is when I open up my broadcast, I'm gonna put the schedules up. So when you get a chance, if you could whip up maybe a short-term schedule, I'll put that up there whenever I do my lives from now on, just so people are can plan out and make it out to more of the events. But
all right, we have service in Atlanta every first and third Friday of every month. Service in Jacksonville, Florida, every second and fourth Saturday of every month. Eventually, we're going to go to every week. We're going to have but until we lay the fact, we're just laying foundation right now. We started in February of this year in Jacksonville. We started in August of this year. It was just now a little bit past a month. In Atlanta, both are doing well. Brothers and sisters are growing spiritually. People are starting to hear more about it. And so the next major Boom event, and Brother Zadok kind of mentioned it a little bit last night. We were kind of talking behind the scenes. We're going to try to get him down from New York to Atlanta. We're working on the Balanced Hebrews rising up, basically dealing with all of these issues with a lot of the.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Majors, but real fast, because I know Sister and I know I saw you in there watching that we were counseling last night. I want Majors, if you could define what a balanced Hebrew is for this sister, because that's something we were telling her about. So she was looking at some some groups near her. But if you could define what a balanced Hebrew is.
Okay, pretty much a balanced Hebrew is one who identifies the scriptures, also spiritually is more spiritually mature. We believe in total worship of the Father. We believe in not dealing with non-salvation issues. We believe in working out differences. If it is a salvation issue, we deal with that. We believe all nations have an opportunity to be in the kingdom, regardless of skin color. We just preach them out and let the Most High sort them out. We don't deal with sorting people. All right, so we don't deal with that. As well as we believe in keeping Torah to the best of our ability, and pretty much just dealing with things from a spiritual perspective. We're not reactionary, we're responsive, meaning that when we hear something, we see something, we just don't automatically jump on something or react, but we wait for the Spirit to give us guidance on certain things, in all aspects of our lives. We believe in the Holy Spirit. We believe in the construct of creation when it comes to the man first and the woman, but we don't limit the sisters in suppression that they don't have a voice, that the Spirit can't use them, and we have scriptures to back that up. But we also believe in one man, one wife, and we also, at the same time, believe in making sure that the community is very healthy when it comes to every aspect, relationships, everything. So we just don't deal with focusing on just nationality itself, but we deal in focusing on every aspect, even practical things such as you need to get insurance. You need to make sure you know how to do a resume. You need to have some form of providing for your families and income, all of those things.
Okay. All right. And sister in there asked you, you said, I want to watch the debate. Where can I find it? All right. So for when William Brown let the Christians talk, you could go to William Majors Brown, to his page. So friend him. And then the other ones on there too. And tonight I'm going to have Dimitri Milligan on, and one of these brothers who believe that the law is done away with and we're not under it. So we're going to have that tonight. It's not necessarily going to be a debate. It's just going to be a discussion, reasoning. Hey, so where are you getting this from type thing. And so that's going to be tonight, I guess around 7 on Michael Israel on Facebook, Spiritual Combat on YouTube. And I think, Majors, you posted the first one on YouTube also, right?
Yeah, all of them are on YouTube.
Okay.
On my YouTube channel, It's Majors 1.
Okay. So It's Majors 1.
And the number 1.
The number 1, and that's on YouTube. Or it's on his Facebook page also. So yeah. All right. But
the event that we have, we're working on dealing with combating a lot of this, because everybody's trying to bunch all the Hebrews in one category, and the only image that they see are who they deem as radicals. Pretty much, they associate with the camps. You know, brothers on corners, brothers wearing certain type of attire. Yeah. But there are a group of Hebrews out here in which we coined the title "Balanced Hebrews," who don't get into aren't radical and whatever they're labeled them as, and we're going to address a lot of the claims that they're coming at us with, because many of us, we still have some form of connection to leaders in the Christian church who talk to us, have structures, invite us in to teach heritage and things of that nature. So we're going to use a lot of that to combat a lot of the claims against the Hebrew community from a scholarly perspective, but also from a practical understanding, but also from a Christian worldview understanding of who we are as Hebrews.
Exactly. Yep. So let me check. Go over to Facebook real quick and see if they got any questions over there. And A bunch of stuff. What's the name? I have a question. What about those of us who want to keep Torah in its entirety, but things like our job prevent us from doing so? Made, I'll let you go ahead and answer that, because I'll put my little input in when you're done.
To me, that's one of those situations based off the individual situation. And the reason why I say that is because this is how, let me give you my perspective based on my situation, because everybody's situation is different. The job that I currently have right now, I was praying for the Most High. I was out of work, praying that the Most High allow me to be able to find a place to work to provide for my family. This job situation opened up for me, and it's based off seniority. If you ever worked on a job where you have to bid for your lines based off what days you're gonna have off, okay? I took the job at the time, still knowing that when I got my schedule, I couldn't have the Sabbath off, okay? So I diligently prayed for because based on my seniority, I wasn't going to get the Sabbath off for 7 years. 8 years. I think it was 8 years.
Dang.
Based on because it's a very high seniority. I prayed to the Father for 3 straight years, and I diligently seeked him, and I told him, Father, if you would open up a way for me to be able to honor you on the Sabbath, I promise you I will never go against the Sabbath. This was in my heart. I willfully wanted to do this. Well, make a long story short, people start getting fired. People start quitting. People start, all these things. I'm diligently praying. The 3.5 year mark, my seniority jumped up. No, I'm sorry, the 4 years and 3 months, my seniority jumped. Now, I'm not supposed to get a Sabbath off or a Friday, Saturday off for almost 8 to 9 years. Well, because of my diligence and the sincerity of my heart, the Father opened up the door for me to where in half of that, less than half of that, now I've had the Sabbath off. I've been my job almost 10 years.
Wow. And
when I go to be, I don't care where it's at. It's the area that I work, it's the department that nobody wants to work. Okay, it's one of those type of situations. I don't care what supervisor it is. I don't care if it's the worst of the worst department. I am not going to turn my back on the Most High for opening up a door, because he gave it to me when others like, man, how did you get it so fast? How did you get that so fast? When they had some of them took a long time to get it. So my thing is to the individual, understand where you're at. The Most High understands the situation, the captivity that you're in. But if you have a diligent heart and you are serious and sincere, he will open up a door for you. Don't listen to some of these people, because sometimes the Most High will open up doors for you in unlikely places because you asked for it. It may not be the ideal situation, but if you're diligent and your heart is right and you're pressing towards that mark and you really, really want to pursue him. Now, this is the thing. The Most High will try you. If you sit up there and tell him you're going to do something, he's going to make a way. And if you turn your back on him, eventually he's going to bring you right back to that, because you promised him that you was going to honor him.
Yep.
So for every individual on here, if you're in that type of situation, analyze your situation and make sure you put that time in. I did fasting, and I did, even on my job, I made sure that I set up time when I would go in a corner somewhere and pray to the Father about my situation. And he made a way for me. He has never failed me yet.
Yep.
So I hope that helps some of y'all brothers and sisters out there. Don't get caught up in a lot of these folks telling y'all, man, you need to quit your job, you need to do this, because they ain't coming to pay your bills.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you got bills you got to pay, but the Most High will make a way.
And my story is literally identical to his. And what I'd add in there is that if you it's asking according to his will, like according to his word. And I've seen instant answers when it's lined up with his word and it's in sincerity and in truth. Because mine was, I was in the Air National Guard. One weekend a month, I had to work, do my drill. And I was praying earnestly, literally, for about a year. And the next thing you know, job opened up. I became eligible for retirement. I retired from the Guard, took this other job. It was a pay cut. I struggled, but shoot, I counted it a blessing. Because they getting ready to send all them dudes over to the Middle East and stuff like that. I still am thankful about that, because it ain't about money, and he's blessed me to, it was never, we were out there begging for food. We always, if you're going according to his will, he'll make it happen. You know what I'm saying? But like Major said, don't be like, all right, I'm in this troop, boom. You quit your job and then you down in a homeless shelter. It's like, that's.
And you know what, Mike, I'm gonna say something, man, to what you just said, is that sometimes it requires a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may not be able to make the money that you're making. You may have to take less money to have the Sabbath off and honor him. Now, here's the area. The scripture teaches us that the just shall live by faith. Now, do you really, truly believe that the Father's going to provide for you?
Yeah.
If you take this pay cut, because one thing about him, he's going to hold up his end of the deal. If you're willing to honor him and take a pay cut, he's going to make sure you're not going to lack on finances. He's going to make sure ain't no food going to lack on your table. He's going to make sure that you keep the lights on. All of these things. You may not be able to have what you want, but trust me, you'll be in a season of sometimes not enough, but yet you'll be living in a season of just enough. And then sometimes you may come to a point where you get to that season of more than enough, and you think about the season you was at where you didn't have it, and you say, okay, I got it now, but I'm not gonna go spend it because I ain't going back there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all a process.
And some people, he got you right where you need to. He give you just enough money to where you need to be. Because some people, he give them too much, it'll be done. You know what I'm saying? They just be over there serving Satan. So he got you right where he need you. Yeah. Hold on one sec. Somebody else has a question. It says, I had the same situation, and one of the co-workers quit that had the weekends off, and I had put in those days off and got it. Yes, sir. So people are confirming what we said. Then I see other people like, they just can't resist that carrot, man. They just can't resist. And they got to go, by choice, they got to go, they working on the Sabbath, so you know the thoughts and intents of your heart deep down, right. So you got to be honest with yourself on situations like that. All right, let me see. So yeah, man, all right, Brother Mike, you and your wife should do it. Okay, so somebody's asking, it said a couple questions. I have, what about? Some of us have. No. Okay, it says, Brother Mike, you and your wife should do a topic on how you all keep the clean, unclean laws in your house. Practical ways to do this, because a lot of us don't know how to practically apply them. And when they're talking about clean, unclean laws, they're talking about when the woman's on her cycle. Is that what they're talking about? Major?
Oh, well,
or if you could clarify.
It could be a different number of things. It depends on their mindset. If they're talking about kosher, because some Hebrews deal with kosher.
They are talking about that. So
yeah, kosher.
No. About the woman being on her cycle and stuff like that. Yeah. We'll definitely teach on that in spiritual combat. So Majors, so future events, you said you put out the dates. Any broadcasts you're going to be doing? Any lives? Are you going to continue with the lives, these I guess open forum discussions? Because I wish I had known about that one last night. I was passed out sleep. I didn't know probably. I don't know how late it was. Yeah,
we got on about 9:30 and we went to like midnight. I didn't expect to go that long. sometimes Facebook be having a difficult time when people can come on the live. I don't know what's up with that. But the next one, our next topic of open discussion is going to be, and I think this is going to be a mixed thing because I did the Christians first, the Hebrews. Now we're going to have both perspectives of can other nations have salvation? That's going to be the next topic of conversation. We're going to have Hebrews. Of course, the Christians are going to have their perspective, but the Hebrews are mixed in that area. And so we're going to see, I'm pretty sure it's going to be some Hebrews going to come on and some of them going to say it bluntly just like this. Hell no.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have some other Hebrews going to come on and say, oh, absolutely, yes. And here's this. So it's about open dialogue and discussion for everybody, the Christian and the Hebrew, to get a perspective, because the ultimate goal is for all of us to have an understanding of what the text says. Of course, everybody not going to, based off the different areas or affiliations and whatnot. But if some, as Paul said, become all things to all men, so that some may receive salvation. If we can get some, I've done my job. You've done your job, all the other brothers. But it's not about arguing. When we look at the scriptures, we see that Paul went into the temple and he reasoned. Reasoning is different from arguing.
And getting emotional and just shutting off. Yeah. And I think it's just so, I know how big what you're doing is, because I've always stressed the importance of just being able to have the conversation. Not necessarily trying to arrive somewhere, but just understanding where people are coming from and why. And then that loosens everything up a whole bunch, It does. And I know we talked about, when we first linked up, we talked about that as well, just having discussions. And I know you did a lot of work before we met, just meeting with camps and brothers, because you caught the vision that way before I even met you about bringing brothers together to try so we can get an understanding and have dialogue, not just, like you said, we don't have to come to a conclusion, but just getting to the table to have a discussion. A healthy dialogue is very important. I think that's something that the Father is pleased with. And to be honest with you, we're seeing some fruit from it, because even some of the Christian brothers are starting to think like, okay, well, maybe they're not all bad. Let me look into some of this. And some of the Hebrew brothers are saying, well, okay, well, I thought all Christian pastors was against Torah, but then you turn around and you meet some, no, I did the legwork. I know some other Christian pastors that are not teaching against the law. Yep. So we have to get this understanding. I think that's what the Father is trying to do, to bring us all to one conclusion of understanding. And then John Williams, he giving me a hard time. He said, Michael Williams go to sleep early like an old man. And like, hey man, I am an old man. And like, these ain't platinum highlights. I know y'all thought they were, but this gray hair, baby, I'm old.
Hey, but no, Mike, you put in work though, man. You got a lot of stuff going on as well. And from the time that we met, man, you just soaring, increasing, and and open up a lot of doors, because we do need a Hebraic biblical CNN version to get the news to everybody. And so that's the lane you work.
That's my lane. I'm staying in
Even at James 1-1, I saw you working on different things. You were just having, find out about cameras and find out this. So it's in you. That's your passion. Yep. And so that's what I love to see, when people in their lane and they pass, they ain't trying to cross over nobody else's lane.
There ain't no dash lines in this lane. It's solid lines in my lane. I'm staying right. But no, and I'll say this, because I told you before, it's like I watch you. I just observe, just simple observation, watching how you operate, watch how Josh operate, watch how Morris operate. Y'all, because I thought I was, doing a lot of stuff. Then I watch y'all. I was like, yo, these dudes on a whole nother level of dedication and focus and going hard. So it inspired me, and it makes you realize, oh, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I appreciate the example y'all set for a lot of people out there, just with the work ethic,
Absolutely. Shout out to Raymond Word Clothing too, because I'm rocking Raymond Word Clothing right now. Got the shirt and the hat. Big shout out to John Williams. Definitely, man, the brother is definitely a great brother, man. I love Brother John. Duval County, he from Jacksonville too.
Jayville. He was decked out yesterday, man. I seen that. Hey, that shirt was on point, man. And then,
definitely.
And then I see Derek, man. He done sent out the I guess the new series of chains. I know mine's on the way. I got a bigger dog tag, so my junk gonna be bigger than all y'all. It's like as big as my face. You know what I'm saying?
You got the huge dog tag.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if y'all come out with one bigger than that, I'm getting a bigger one. It's gonna be like this big. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we could do it.
Hey, big shout out to Derek Sala, man. Pastor Derek Sala, Boom Church ATL, man. Big shout out, man. I love my brother, man. He definitely carry the weight and hold the weight, man. Keep my arms lifted. Whether it's teaching and just different, I can call him, talk to him about different things. But not only that, man, listen, I've got to say it, man. You know, I know a lot of y'all out there is envy. I need y'all to repent. But ain't nobody got a better chain than me, dog. I'm sorry, man. That boom chain. Hey. Hey, listen here, man. I know a lot of y'all brothers got some nice chains that Pastor Derek Sala did. But listen,
I'm hearing that jealousy. I'm hearing that jealousy. It's about that combat, baby.
Oh yeah. So hey, wait a minute. So the dog tag bigger than that one?
Yeah. I'm telling you, that joint gonna be big as my face. And if somebody come out with something bigger, I'm getting an even bigger one. It's gonna be as big as my body. Y'all gonna know it's spiritual combat.
Hey, man, listen. Pastor Derek Sala, if you don't have one of his chains, man, you slipping. And not only that, his wife is doing the female line. She got some nice stuff, too. She gave my wife some stuff. It's nice.
I see we're going to have to get him back on here. And Derek, send me up an icon, and we'll get you on there, too, your little icon on the bottom of the spiritual combat thing. Because I know, man, I seen that new level of change you came out with yesterday. Everybody had them up there, man. That was on point, man. That was definitely on point.
Definitely, man. Big shout out to them. But, hey, our community, man, you know, the brothers in our community, man, who we all linked together. Some good brothers, man. Good brothers and the sisters. I'm so happy to see that we could do things as a community. Not only that, but have fun. Big shout out, I can't forget about it. Big shout out to Minister Casey Huey. Listen,
that's
you have Casey on the Did you see him last night, man?
I made it to that part, man.
He's a comedian. He's a Hebrew comedian. Hey, listen, man. The Father doing some great things amongst his people, man, using all the talents to reach the people. And that brother is crazy, man. He is crazy.
So, hey, make sure y'all watch the show last night. It was good, man. He a nut. That's a nut.
But thank you, Michael Israel, man. Definitely, man. I appreciate everything. And to hey, Sister Koya, what's going on? I'm still waiting on a plate, Sister Koya. I'm tired of you showing the plates on Facebook, and ain't nobody tasting none of these plates. Okay, we gotta get that taste. Let's taste some of them plates.
And I talked to her this morning because, I mean, Sister Koya, she makes some posts, and like she knows so much when it comes to Black women's hair, to cooking, and to sewing. She is on a whole nother level, but she's also so busy. So I'm going to make her, because she wants to come on the show too, but she be doing all these other things. But the first thing we're going to do is a show about hair, and then we're going to get her on for a whole bunch of other stuff, because she on a whole nother level with some of the stuff she doing.
Listen, you know what we need in the community that we don't have? That Sister Koya, when you was talking, it just dropped. We need a Hebrew cooking show.
Ooh. Yes, sir.
Go ahead and jump on it, Sister Koya.
Cause she in there working on my breakfast now. That's why I'm trying to wrap the show up now, because I hear my stomach growling. But hey, that's real talk. That's
absolutely
real talk.
Go ahead and work on that, man.
And I know a bunch of the sisters could cook. So
yeah, absolutely.
Hey, y'all hit me up. and that's gonna put the fire behind her to get on the show, because she see another sister. Oh, you gonna do her meal first? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, absolutely. Hey, I know, and me and her had thrown that around too. So yeah, man, absolutely, that's a good idea. What's that lady's name? The Hebrew Martha Stewart.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. But listen, man, go ahead. I know you got to eat, man. I know she whipping it up. You got a very busy schedule today as well. Me as well. I'm about to get ready and get up and get me something on my stomach and whatnot. And so I'm waiting for my queen to get back. She had to go out of town as well. So I'm just excited about what's going on. And Brother Sean still listening. Brother Sean, you probably gonna have a date next month. You and Michael Israel in November.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm putting him on blast, Mike. I'm putting. He be trying to fall back. I'm putting him on blast. He done talked one time and boom, and everybody loved it. He ain't getting away. He's not getting away, Brother Sean.
Yeah. He did the same thing on the Spiritual Combat show. He came on here, dropped some jewels, and everybody's like, you know. Oh yeah, we gonna make him commit.
Absolutely.
All right, man, Majors, it's awesome having you on the show. I'm Michael Israel. You watching Spiritual Combat? Like I said, check out his 2 videos that they're on his YouTube page and on his Facebook. Tune in tonight, because like I said, we're gonna have that, the brother in there he's a Hebrew. He doesn't believe in keeping the laws, and we're going to have Elder Dimitri Milligan on with a discussion between them, so it'll be good and fruitful. And like I said, I'm Michael Israel. You're watching Spiritual Combat, and shalom, y'all.
Shalom.